I'm dying to get to this because out of all your pedals, I mean, yeah, that's a newer one, whatever. Out of a vintage old pedals, the one that I use for years that you use is this.
Well,
one.
I use that because you told me.
Jesus Christ!
You told me that's the tremolo to get because. Well, so first, the philosophy behind this board is like, this is the trapping the signal board and fucking with the signal.
Right.
So,
Definitely.
like, you can make all the noise here, and then you trap it here, and you can manipulate it. And
by the way, not that this matters, but we're not quite to that pedal yet, but let's jump ahead. And
What pedal were we at?
Well, first we go into the multiplayer.
Oh, fuck, my bad.
I
didn't look at your chain properly.
Right.
That's okay.
But it's okay, because that's in a bizarre place in the chain, actually, if you think about it.
We have different signal chain philosophies, which is cool. I like that. I
mean, I've done both. Like, I think a lot of times I'll throw it at the very end, so anything that you're sampling or creating, you can chop up.
Right.
That's the theory.
In a perfect world, I would have two.
Which I did. I did at one time too. I ran one in the front, one in the back, so then I could have a chop signal, sample it, go an octave lower.
Right.
And then just start. Yeah. Right.
But then that's taking up some valuable real estate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yeah.
So you guys like that because it chops hard, right?
Yeah.
I think it does. Yeah.
I've always looked for a hard chop. I haven't seen it anymore. It was a Rocktron. Do you know Rocktron?
Yeah, of course.
GHS.
Rocktron was the very first two pedals you and I got for free.
Right.
Literally, so 10 years ago, we met this guy, Chris, at GHS, who supplies me with guitar strings. And we met him at South by Southwest. And I think maybe he was like, oh, you guys want some strings? You guys are a cool band or something.
Right.
And we found out that GHS is partnered with something called Rocktron. Do you know what Rocktron is?
Yeah, Rocktron's like, isn't they were the ones who did like the Rockman stuff too, wasn't it? They made like really shitty Rat Gear, and then
it is Rat Gear. Yes, I believe it's Rat Gear.
Right.
So I got, I don't even remember. I think this was a long time. Like this is 10 years ago probably, and I remember. Fuck, I'm trying to think of what I asked for. I think I just wanted a crazy over-the-top distortion. They don't make a crazy over-the-top distortion, or they didn't back then. So I just got something that did not work. Like the jack was fucked up like immediately out of the box. So that was the very first pedal anyone ever said, try this out. You got
a tremolo. I don't even remember it might have just been the Rocktron tremolo pedal. I'm not sure what the name was.
And just to one more thing, it's funny because often when I'm talking about how grateful we are for boutique builders and all this crazy shit, it still blows my mind that, like whatever, people want us to try their stuff. If that ever happens, no matter what, that's insane. And a lot of times I'll be like, oh, Earthquaker Devices was the first company to acknowledge us as a band and be like, whoa, those guys are cool with the help of you and blah, blah, blah. That was rad. But actually, technically, the very, very first people that ever gave a shit was Rocktron.
Right.
But, it's not like our friend Chris. I don't even know what his relation to Rocktron is, but they were like sister companies or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just funny that like, oh yeah, we're into pedals and like, we get cool stuff here and there and we get lots of neat things to try, but actually the very, very first thing was fucking Rocktron.
Yeah.
And I got one that didn't even work.
And they probably had like 3 pedals.
And they were in like metal casing that
Yeah.
were totally dorky looking, not cool. So anyways, you had a Rocktron tremolo.
And it worked great actually. It was simple 2-knob. There was a switch to change the kind of wave if you wanted a sawtooth or if you wanted a square wave. And just the speed and the depth. And that thing, it cut the bass signal perfectly.
Right.
And it eventually broke, and I couldn't...
So yours broke too.
Yeah. It eventually broke, and I was in search of another tremolo pedal and went to various music stores where they had, like, nice boutique tremolos, stuff that was too much, more expensive than I could afford. And I would still try out, and nothing was cutting it. Literally, like I needed. And I even went as so far as like when we met the Mantic guys to be like, can you guys invent a tremolo for me, because I can't find one that's doing the does what I want it to do. And then Juan said, like, well, I remember talking to Juan about this, and he was like, oh no, this is the one you have to get, this Boss. I can't even remember where I eventually found that. It was Craigslist. It was down here, and I met the dude on and got it down here.
You met him in that casual encounter section.
Yes, and he just happened
for PNT.
And he just happened to have one of those. So we were getting into some like gnarly stuff, and I was like,
all right, let's hear it chop up. Let's see what this thing does.
Well,
just show it to us.
Okay.
It's got the chop.
Yeah, I'm looking for a chop that like makes people sit.
But did you hear that? Like, always at the front of the tremolo, you have like a little, I don't know, I always call it puffiness. There's like a little, like, I love the hummingbird, but what I miss from the hummingbird that the PN2 has is that puffiness. It's just like the, I feel that air moving almost. And so like when you go ahead and hit it. Yeah. And then.
Yeah, so, I like how slow it goes. Ideally, I would like, with my old Rocktron one went even slower, so it could just be like, and it cut all the way.
Like a gate, almost like a gate.
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. So we did go out of the chain though. So like you go into this after the win. You went into it. Digitech the Digitech. Did you notice that? Nice. Digitech the Digitech. Because they're cousins.
Sometimes you got to do that.
So, all right, we talked about the multiplay before. Is
Hishki
the one that introduced us all to the multiplay?
Definitely.
Okay. So someone brought Tera Melos a multiplay on tour.
Right.
I forget the chap's name, but super nice guy.
Nice guy in San Diego.
San Diego, dude. Yeah. And maybe Dylan. I don't know. This was years ago, and we traded him either merch or we do this thing where. We will do bartering and trading for show entry or merch or vinyl, and a lot of times people will bring us like neat, junky old pedals that are modded or fucked or broken or whatever, and to trade for shit. And we've acquired some really cool things. But some rad guy brought the multiplay at some point, and that's how you acquired the multiplay.
Right.
So what's up with it?
So it's tricky because I used to have a setting that somehow I stumbled upon that I really liked, and I've lost it. And it's been a while since I have used it, so I can't remember what it was.
So I
need to experiment with it to find the right thing. Because basically, and somebody like Hishki might disagree, this pedal, I feel, has like kind of been eliminated if you just use it for the functions that it has.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you can use this thing, for instance, to go,
You're
right? I don't need to take up so much real estate on the board to do something like that.
Just a simple loop.
But since I had found something really cool, well, for a simple loop or just for the delay setting,
boring. Who cares about that delay setting?
But since I had found something that was really bizarre, it was necessary to have. It was really cool. Since I've lost it, it's like I need to find it.
So you need to do some sonic soul searching.
Definitely.
Can you just show us like one weird sound out of it?
Well,
Just twist.
I guess what's kind of cool is I kind of like this, that if you make the effect wet all the way, you get a long delay before your note comes out.
Right. Okay. But I'm not hearing any modulation or pitch shifting in that.
So you can, once you have the note there, then you can shift the note like that. You know? And when you, again, like, I guess we're talking over playing. When you get into sending other things through that, you get some cool results. So, you know, we'll just go with the 10th for instance. You know, you can set it like I have now. If we have like, maybe we're like between songs or something we want to tune, but we still have something creating some nice like tension during the set. So,
I got you. I feel it. That's sick right there.
Yeah. But I was getting something cool without having to bend over and manipulate.
And you need to find that.
I gotta find that again.
Well, just hit both at the same time. Play something and then hit both at the same time.
No, you don't want to just
Both
replay
at the
that.
same time. Where is it? Do it again.
Hold on.
You got your mix all. Wait, what's going on here?
Kinda like
Well, turn the wet down.
All right, hold on.
Now let's try it. Okay, let's get both feet in on this. Ready?
Yeah. Do it again now. Do it again. Clear it. Yep. Yep. Do it again. No?
Maybe
Wait,
I gotta play it.
Is your volume
and
up?
then do it.
That's weird.
Okay, now wait a second. Wait a second. Let me address something here.
Yeah.
You're trying to set these settings to. You're trying to get Nate's pedal to have your exact settings. What I have been told about multi-plays, and I don't understand the logic behind this, but I've heard that they can function differently from pedal to pedal.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, I could believe that because I know that I've had
Can we
some
see that real quick? Let me see. Are you sure that's your exact settings that didn't get tweaked?
Definitely.
Oh yeah, because you have it marked out. Okay. So there.
But
And
did you just? I thought your speed was all the way up.
play?
No, see, that's not right. It should be swooping.
No, it's not.
Do it
See,
again.
mine was a swoop. It was a.
All right, play. Dude, that's really weird. Okay, wait,
Do it
play.
again.
Sorry,
Wait
play.
a sec.
Play. Yeah, see, and that happens with them.
I wonder if it's because you're using the one spot.
Okay, to recap, you're saying you lost settings on that. You used to have a setting that you liked on it, and you're not currently able to find that setting.
Correct.
What Juan is saying is that he thinks that your use of power is not
Accurate
accurate for
power,
what
yeah.
it needs.
Right.
So you're using this. So these old things, this Digitech PDS series, you know, they've got the battery compartment right there. So you're running off your daisy chain. So that
Right.
could be affecting that. Like I
Maybe.
said, I've heard that they function a little differently, and maybe that's because of the power source.
We should do an investigation on this. A full
That'll
dedicated.
be another video. We'll do a full video.
Okay, we'll talk
full
about power.
dedicated. Yeah.
Okay, so to be continued on the Digitech multi-play.
Okay, and
Right.
then the multiplay goes into your DL4
That's a DL4. I mean, you can't.
with a mod.
One of the last times we were on tour, we brought in like 3 or 4 DL4s to Earthwigger devices, and Fedge did this mod for us. Everyone talks about these this thing is bullshit. It's constructed like shit, right? And anyone that's ever played one for more than 20 minutes knows that it will die on you and the switches get fucked up. We've talked about this a million times. So there's the switch mod on it, right? So what the switch mod is, just for people that don't know, there's usually like a plunger that is coming down from these guys, and when you would press one of these buttons, the plunger slams into the little motherboard thingy in there, and with all that action, it's fucking something up. So what the modification does is it wires the buttons straight to the board, right? So you're not getting all the action of like smashing on the board. So I just want to say that the reason that we never had that done before was because anyone that would do the mods, you have to send it away. And then it'd be like, 3 to 6 weeks to get it back. And we were never available. We always wanted that pedal to be in our chains, and we never had the time to be away from it. At least for me, that's why I never got it modified. But I will say, once the mod was completed, we just had our friend do it, Fedge, in a couple hours, and it was awesome.
Yeah, we hung out with him, he did it, and it's great.
And then also just this thing on top makes it switch from...
if I had it on a delay setting...
If you have it here, you can go from loop... Here, play something. Okay. So there's your loop setting, or if you just hit this, you go to your delays. So that's a great mod for a junk pedal.
Great mod.
And I used to have some settings on that I really liked. Like I had like a really quick backwards reverse setting, so it sounded like it was like kind of sucking the sound. But I would always lose it because the pedal was fucking up, and I would lose all my settings. So now that it has that, I should find all those little settings again.
Same.
Yeah.
All right. So what's after? Then you go into the PN2.
Right.
We talked about
go into
that.
the tremolo.
Then what's up after that?
After that, we have the Density Hulk, which
the legend.
I can't demonstrate it right now because it would be dangerous.
Right.
So what is cool about this pedal, what I use it for, it's powered obviously, but right now if I turn it on, you're not going to hear anything out of it. The reason is because it has I guess it's a dry in, because it has a 1/4 inch out to be able to go into a DI to be played through the PA system.
And this is an argument that Juan and I have often, because...
Bring Hishki in on that.
So, alright, so here's the thing. How many speakers or heads have you blown based on driving the amp too hard?
0.
So 0... How many have you blown from that exact reason?
See that cabinet right there? Never. 1993. Four. Never, ever blown a speaker.
You had that thing since 94.
Yes. And see that head?
Yes.
Since 2006. Never blown it. So if you have good gear, you don't blow it. It's like other gear, backline or whatever. Yes, of course.
So if you're saying...
I tend to blow 15s more than anything.
So you're saying if it's chintzy, you're going to destroy it.
I mean, I'm going to light it up, yeah.
All right, so here's the thing. This is... When you DI this, and this is the conversation Juan and I have all the time, you're getting the direct signal from the pedal into the PA. Now, if you're playing a punk venue with a garage or something shitty, obviously it's nothing. It means nothing. But when you're playing the Fox Theater in Pomona, which is whatever, 2,000 capacity room, and there's a good PA, it fucking rumbles the building.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I've sound checked it a lot, and I always need to remind the sound guy, we have to check my DI down here. And they'll say, okay, whatever. And I'll be like, okay, well, get ready for it. You might want to turn it down and bring it in because it's loud. And then I'll hit it, and they'll be like, whoa. I've had people seriously be like, I have to shit after you just checked that because it rumbled all my insides.
And obviously that happens when you're not DIing it as well. When it's coming right off the bass amp, it still has a gnarly effect, right? Juan?
Mm-hmm.
But I think I want you to hear it DI'd once, just so you could see if there's a difference.
Sure, I mean, I know what it sounds like, but sure.
So on the old meat boxes, there is a dry out as well.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just blew my mind. I didn't know the old meat boxes had dry out. So you could do that trick with the old one as well.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the new one doesn't...
stereo.
It's got a little splitter cable.
TRS cable.
So that's why they did that. Because you want to hit the PA directly with that, then you're stoked. So anyways, Mantic later on went and cloned the meat box
Right.
What was it called?
The meat bag. Or
Beef bag. And they did like a limited number, which that was before the meat box reissue.
Right.
So maybe between you and everyone and Hishki and everyone repping the meat box, perhaps that had something to do with it as well. But so this, I don't know what the difference between the density Hulk is and the meat box.
Many people have tried to explain it to me, and I just think I'm too much of like a bonehead to get it.
Actually, I think we kind of skipped over.
I don't think it's a subharmonic synth though. I think it's more low end, like you're going into 60 hertz or 30 hertz. The synthesis that happens with a meat box or a boom box is I think that's where you're getting the sound, because it's taking your signal and creating a synthetic signal out of it. I don't think that is. I think that's dropping your
actual signal.
Your actual signal into that low EQ level, which is 30 hertz.
We also, I think we just skipped over this, but it is a what do you call that? A subharmonic?
Not that. I don't. That's I think they're sub-octave, I think is what they might call it, but the meat box is a subharmonic synthesizer pedal, and I think the beef bag is too. I mean, I A/B'd the meat box and the old one to their beef bag, and Jonathan and I couldn't get it to sound the same. And there's and really what the difference is, what we heard was that it misses that synthetic sound. The thing is, when something becomes synthetic, at least in what I'm going to just articulate it the way I hear it. When you hear that syntheticness, you hear it like an 808. 808's a synthetic subtone. Mm-hmm. It's not a stringed instrument going through a pickup. And so when you hit that synthetic, it's like, to me, it's like that's what it rattles your chest, but evenly. It's not hitting you with darts of inconsistency. It's just like an 808 is. When you hear an 808 drop, that thing is just stuck on sub, and it's just, and it's consistent as hell. And that's what I think the meat box does, is it gives you that subharmonic 808 sound. This thing is, I think, a little bit more kind of like a sub octave, so it goes into the lower octave areas, and it creates like this massive low end sub octave. Okay. I think. I mean, but again, Lewis might come in and clear this all up.
Yeah. In any case, whatever exactly the density Hulk technically is, there's sub shit happening with it, and it rumbles the fuck out of the building, much like a meat box would do. But again, you use this in a way that you DI it, so it's not even hitting the amp right now, right? Because we're using that little Ampeg guy, and I'm sure if it was hitting the amp, it would probably destroy it.
Right, and the cab that I use and the head that I use, it's all old stuff, and it's like a really thin Fender 215, and it would probably like rattle the tube head, my basement head. Right. It would probably rattle it right off that.